Intervened on behalf
And now, coming to you live from atop the Goldenrod City radio tower, it's the one, the only, PUCL TCGCast!
Hello, and welcome to the 95th episode of the PUCL TCGCast with your host, Basket. We've got the Fusion Strike set, and we've compiled our list of Pokemon we think you should be aware of in this set. And of course, it wouldn't be such a great episode without Sigma here to help me out. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Just getting over being sick for like the past week.
Oh, rough. Was it the scary one or a normal one?
It was a normal one, luckily. So.
All right. I'm really glad you got better in time for this.
Yeah.
All right. We've got a lot of cards here, so without further ado, let's all sit back and take a deep, calming breath of that sweet summer air as we settle in with our fancy little umbrella drinks for a little topical beach.
Grab your ice-cold Cursola Cola and pull up a chair. It's time for Tropical Beach.
Okay, so we're going to have Sigma start it right off.
Yeah. First off, we got Dragonball with its 150 HP as a Stage 2 Fusion Pokemon. That is the set's main gimmick, is it added Fusion Strike to the strikes that we have. Comes with its own energy and a handful of Pokemon. That said, we're about to get into new mechanics, so I don't expect that many more Fusion cards coming out in the future. So, what we got is mostly what we're going to have.
Oh, so if it doesn't work now,
yeah,
it's probably not going to work in the future.
That's pretty much where it's at. Like, Japan has its one big set for the end of the year where we might see some more Fusion cards, but it's going to probably be about it. So, like I was saying, we got this Dragonball here. It's got 150 HP. Its main attack is going to be for a Psychic Energy. It does 30 times damage. And that 30 times is the number of fusion Pokemon you have in play, which means it maxes out at 150 for one Psychic Energy. So that's not horrible. The downside is, like, one of the main ways you get your Stage 2s into play is using Drizziles to get the rare candies, but if you're doing that, you don't have that same level of power, right?
Oh, yeah, because it's got to be on the board, and it's not a...
It's not a fusion type, so... Like, you gotta go the old-fashioned route with this guy if you want it to go places. But there's support like Genesect B we'll be talking about later that you just want more fusion Pokemon on the field. So it kind of works with that. Its second attack that I don't think you care that much about is a Psychic and a Colorless for 120 damage on speed attack. Sure, whatever. We have 0 retreat, though. That's cool.
That is nice. That's really nice, especially on a Stage 2.
Yeah, we're a ghost type, so we're weak to dark, but resistant to fighting.
All right. Next up, we've got Goodra. So this is just kind of... There's a few in this set that I just thought would be a good thing to mention. Maybe they'll see play, or maybe they're just notable. I don't know.
I mean, this is like a cute stall Pokemon, I guess.
It is. So Goodra, Dragon type, HP 160. Stage 2, ability Slimy Room. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, whenever your opponent attaches an energy card from their hand to one of their Pokemon, they must first flip a coin. If tails, that energy is discarded without being attached. For a Water and a Psychic, it has Buster Tail that does 120 damage, no weakness, no resistance, retreat cost of 3. I like this just because anytime you can deny energy is a good time for you.
Yeah, it's a free hammer.
Yeah.
Slightly better than a hammer because it doesn't even... Well... Yeah, it doesn't even count as being attached, so occasionally Pokemon will have that effect where it's like, oh, if you get something attached to it, then you get an effect. But I guess this stops that, so that's cool.
Yeah.
I could see it being annoying. Especially with a lot of decks running so low on energy. Like, if you lose that energy, ooh, it hurts.
Yeah. Where I thought this would be most scary or whatever would be like against Rapid Strike.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they use those double colorless things a lot. Because it's an energy card, so it's basic and special.
I could see it being very annoying. It's like, oh, it's luck based still, but you could have a bad match where it's like, oh, you just never get anything going. All right. I'll go to the next one because the next one's a big card. Quite literally. It's Gengar VMAX with 320 HP. It's a dark Pokemon because, hey, poisons are dark now. That's how we've been living for the past, almost 2 years. It's a single strike Pokemon, though, that evolves from the Gengar V in the set, which I don't think is that notable. But we have 2 attacks, which is always fun. For 2 dark energy, we have Panic and Fear, 60 times damage. This attack does 60 times the number of Pokemon V and Pokemon GX that your opponent have in play. So, ow.
Yeah.
That has a good ceiling to it. And its other attack is for 3 dark energy, Gmax Swallow Up, 250 damage. But the Pokemon can't attack next turn. And that's actually relevant because our retreat cost is 3, which means we can't just balloon out of the active. We actually have to click the switch card.
Yeah.
It's worth 3 prizes because it's a VMAX and it's weak to fighting. That's so awkward to hear. Poor Gengar. And it has no resistance. Oh, poor Gengar.
I know, they made it weak to ground by taking away Levitate, and now they're making it weak to fighting by making it dark.
Yeah. This Pokemon's relevant. If you have the Urshifu VMAX single strike shell with the Umbreon, this can just go in and replace the Urshifu. And it has a different weakness than Umbreon. So you can have 2 dark attackers, so you just have to run darkness energy instead of the fighting energy. And it still uses the single strike energy in the Houndoom engine, so it can boost its attack off of that. It has a good strength. That said, I think both decks are actually doing well with the single strike Urshifu and with Gengar. So you get choices, and choices are good.
It's been a while since there's been I'm not positive how viable this is because I haven't seen the Gengar VMAX in play at all yet, but it's going to be awesome to have a good Gengar deck.
Right.
It's been a while.
Well, you have the Umbreon support, which gives you the free boss's orders essentially on evolution. Right. Plus you have the Houndooms that power it up quicker. So, and it's doing more damage that way too. It has the pieces to succeed. It's just whether you feel like you want to be running an Urshifu for the fighting damage or if you want to be running Gengar for the consistency of just one energy type, essentially. So,
next up, we've got Galarian Obsigoon, Dark type, HP 170, Stage 2. For 1 Dark type energy, silence 30 damage, and choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks. That Pokemon can't use that attack during your opponent's next turn. Its next attack, 1 Darkness, Merciless Strike, 60 plus damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon already has any damage counters on it, this attack does 90 more damage. Weakness to Grass, Resistance none, Retreat cost of 2.
This Pokemon is already doing well. It partners really well with Inteleon. Who would have guessed? Everything partners well with Inteleon. But, like I was saying with the Dragapult, when you're playing Stage 2s, if you can get the rare candy with the Drizzile, Life is pretty good. And the Inteleon puts damage counters on your opponent, so you get to do 150 damage for 1 energy. It's a good deck.
Yeah, it really is.
Also, the Zigzagoon and the Lanoon also put damage counters on as you evolve them. It's a good card.
Yeah.
It's a legitimate good card.
And Merciless Strike is that's what they're going to be using mostly, but Silence is really cool to me. That's an awesome, because there's plenty of
Pokemon with 1 attack.
Yeah, 1 attack, or even one that they don't even have the capability of playing it because they're just going off of that 1 attack.
Yeah, you can skip their turn next turn because they can't get the energy to get to their other attack.
Exactly, yeah.
Either they have to use a bunch of resources switching it around, or they just have to skip their turn. And then you do 150 next turn and take it out.
Yeah, it's a scary tool to have in your tool chest. It's really cool.
No, I like the card. I like the card a lot. And I like that it has Inteleon to help it out right now.
For sure.
Not that I need to see Inteleon in more text, but Next up, we have a kind of support card. It's a Fusion Strike Pokemon in Latios with 128 HP basic. It has an ability. You don't care about the ability. You're never using it. It allows you to attach a Psychic Energy to your Latios. You're not playing Latios. You're playing Latios because of its cool attack, and it goes well with the Mew VMAX. That's a Fusion Strike Pokemon. For a Fire, Psychic, and Colorless, doesn't matter. You have Fusion Energy, which is like a Rainbow Energy, so the energy cost doesn't matter. We have Dyna Barrier, which does 70 damage, and your opponent's next turn prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by the attacks of Pokemon VMAX. So it'll be good for a little while until V-Stars take over and it doesn't matter anymore, but whatever. No weakness and resistance because we're one of those new dragons, and retreat of 1, which, hey, cool.
People have been talking about using this Latios with the new Mew VMAX.
Yeah, because Mew VMAX can like copy any Fusion Strike attack off of your benched Pokemon, I believe.
Yes.
We'll definitely get to it later. It's like one of the best cards in the set.
For sure.
It's just a nice option if you're going against a VMAX deck to just have this around, and then Mew gets to be immune to VMAXs, and that's annoying.
Yes. Yeah,
it's a good support Pokemon in your Fusion Strike decks.
Definitely. This next one I actually really, really like. I like it a lot.
Oh, I'm happy this guy has a good card.
Yeah.
Or a decent card.
So it's a Basculin. Water type, HP 80, basic Pokemon Rapid Strike. So for a water and a colorless, you have, which I think is like one of the coolest, and I'm not sure if this is the direct translation or if they're changing it for the English version.
I changed the translation already. I went with the official one.
Okay.
I think originally the base translation was like Wound Swarm, but
Oh, okay.
this is better.
This is. All right, so it's water and colorless for an attack called Swarm the Wound. 30 plus damage. This attack does 10 more damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. Weakness to lightning, resistance none, retreat cost 1. So this is fantastic.
Absolutely.
It's like that Tauros. Oh wait, no, the Tauros was the opposite. It was the amount of
the Tauros was damage on it.
Right.
This is doubling the damage on your opponent's Pokemon, but if you're playing a Rapid Strike deck, you probably did 150-ish to them with their with your Urshifu already. So yeah, that's another 180 damage. That's enough to KO most things.
Yeah, because it doubles whatever damage is on them plus the 30. Yeah.
Yeah, like you can usually get like the KO on whatever you hit on the bench with this, and I like it. And
you get all of that for just one Rapid Strike energy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just one attachment, and like it's awesome too because you go out there with your Urshifu, you attack, do as much damage as you can there, then pull it out, throw out Basculin,
and then it's like yum nom 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 nom,
and then and it kills it, and then when they put up their next Pokemon, sure they take out your Basculin, but it's a basic. You're not losing 3 prize cards, you're losing 1.
Yeah. And I love the flavor of the piranhas just going to the wound and eat. Oh yeah. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's super cool.
It's a cute card. I see it as like a 1 or 2 of in a lot of Rapid Strike decks.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I assume my Urshifus are doing like 150 with either a Scope Lens or a Passimian in play. So yeah, that does that gets damage up to 330, which is KOing almost everything.
Yes. Fantastic.
Oh, so good. All right, I'll go to the next one. We got Absol, a dark Pokemon with 100 HP basic. For double colorless, it has Drag Off. Choose an opponent's bench Pokemon, bring it into the active, and do 30 damage to it. Cool. For a dark and double colorless, you have Slash to do 80 damage. I don't think that one's as exciting. Weak to grass, resistant none, and retreat of 1. So it's like, oh, look, disruption, and you get to snipe off things that were damaged, and you didn't get to KO.
Yep.
That's what it does.
I love that because it's just preemptively pulling them up, and ideally, they wouldn't have attached anything to that. So now they're going to have to waste an attachment on that or waste an item to pull it out of there. So either way, yeah, it's good disruption.
Yeah, you're either doing disruption or you're picking something off. I like it.
And then next up, we've got another Inteleon V. This is not the one that we're really that excited about.
I mean, we like it because we can put our Rapid Strike energy on it, but
yes.
That's it.
So, yeah, it's not like dead in the water, but it's not, yeah. So, Inteleon V, water type, HP 200, Rapid Strike. For water and colorless, Surf 40 damage. For 2 water and a colorless, Aqua Bullet, 120 damage. This attack does 20 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So, it's just doing regular, like, Inteleon things. And then weakness.
It's a standard V that I don't care about because VMAX is what I care about.
Exactly. Weakness, lightning, resistance none, retreat cost 2. Now, we can go to the one that we want to talk about.
Yeah. Okay, so we got a new Inteleon VMAX. This time it's Gigantamax form, so it's got the nice sniper tower.
Oh, yeah.
It's got 320 HP. We're a Rapid Strike Pokemon, and we evolved from an Inteleon V. So you can evolve from the old one, but you don't really want to because the attack on this is kind of perfect for Rapid Strike energy. So we have an ability, though. Double Gunner. Once during your turn, you may discard a water energy from your hand. If you do, put 2 damage counters on 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon, which is lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, reminds me of the days of the Greninja. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Water Shuriken.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the one card of that type that was good. The breaks. Oh, the breaks. Nothing like a stage 3. Anyways, like I was saying, for a water and a colorless, also known as your Rapid Strike energy, you do 70 damage, and you can return that Rapid Strike energy to your hand to do another 70 damage, which means it doesn't get like the fan to the bottom of your deck or destroyed with a hammer. So life is pretty good.
Yeah, it's basically just a free, like, yeah. I mean, unless they throw away your hand or you throw away your own hand.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's not many ways to throw away your hand. They can Marnie it to the bottom, but you have to play Professor's Research to really destroy your hand. So, like, that's voluntary on your part. They can Marnie it away, but, like, you can get it back. Yeah, Inteleon VMAX is pretty solid. It has Rapid Strike retreat cost. I love it. And weakness to lightning. So
Perfect.
yeah, it's just a good Pokemon.
All right. Next, we've got another one that... Oh, I did not realize that I just gave myself all the ones. Okay. We're just going to go through Mew V real quick. Psychic type, HP 180. Basic fusion Pokemon. For Psychic Energy Mix, search your deck for 1 energy and attach it to one of your fusion Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. For a Psychic and a Colorless, Psychic Jump, 70 damage. You may shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your deck. That's a cool...
Not bad.
It's a cool little attack. It's like that... What was the one that had it before? There was a bug Pokemon that you could do like this thing where you would
I know what you're
throw it
talking
out
about.
there and then shuffle it back into your deck and then bring it back up and then throw it out there, shuffle it back into your deck. It was like
it's
awesome.
Ninjask. Not Ninjask. It's a ninja Pokemon though. Excelgor.
Excelgor. Yeah. That was it.
It paralyzed on the way out too, but it had like Forest of Giant Plants at the time too, so it just evolved right away again.
Yeah, that was awesome. All right. Okay. On to the one that matters.
Yeah, Mew VMAX. It's also a Fusion Strike Pokemon with 310 HP. Evolves from a Mew V. Cross Fusion Strike. For double colorless energy, you can choose an attack on one of your benched Fusion Pokemon and use that attack as this attack. So you don't have to care about the Latios' attack requirements. You just do 70 and you're immune to VMAX Pokemon for the turn. So they have to Boss's Order you instead of drawing cards. Cool.
Yep.
Then for 2 Psychic Energy, it has Max Miracle, 130 damage. Damage from this attack isn't affected by effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So screw you, Decidueye. You take 3 prizes with it. Weak to Dark, resistant to fighting. Retreat is none, which is cool. But yeah, it's dumb. That said, like I said, we're probably not seeing that many more fusion Pokemon in the future, so we kind of know what it does. It's not like Mewtwo Mew. I hated that card, and I still hate that card. Where it just takes any attacks. No, this is more manageable. We don't have that many fusion Pokemon.
All right. Next up, we've got Genesect V, which is quite arguably the best Pokemon in the set.
It's kind of dumb. It's good in fusion Pokemon decks. It's also good in metal decks.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So Genesect V, Metal, HP 190, Basic Fusion Strike Pokemon. We've got an ability Fusion System. Once during your turn, before your attack, you may draw cards from your deck until the number of cards in your hand equals the number of fusion Pokemon you have in play. So, fantastic card draw if you've got a bunch of fusion cards.
Dumb.
2 metal and a colorless, you've got Technoblast, 210 damage. This Pokemon can't attack during your next turn. And again, Mew can use that attack for 2 colorless.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got weakness, fire, resistance to grass, retreat cost of 2.
Yeah, it's a scary Pokemon. God. Good card draw, a good attack. Like, can't complain too much about this Genesect.
Yeah, seriously. And it's a basic. Like, having that ability on a basic is fantastic.
Oh, gross. Oh. But I like it. Like, especially if that's just as good as the Fusion Strike Scad. It's like, okay, that's fine. That's a reasonable power level. It's strong, but we don't have to worry that much about more Fusion Strikes coming.
It's true.
Next up, we got some fun.
Yeah.
We got some fun. All right. So we got Blissy with its 130 HP Stage 1 status. We got an ability of Expert in Roundness. Each of your Pokemon with Let's All Roll Out attack take no damage from opponent's VMAX Pokemon, which is what this archetype needs. For 3 colorless, we have Let's All Roll Out as the attack, 20 times the damage of the number of Let's Roll Out Pokemon on your bench. So that's 100 damage, essentially. Like, they're the only things you're playing. That said, we do have options of types for those Pokemon in Psychic, Fighting, Metal, and Water, and Normal. But, like, you have a variety of types, so you can hit weaknesses. Anyways, this thing's weak to Fighting and retreated too. Who cares? It's here for the support.
Yeah. Blissy's the one that makes this, like...
It makes it so you're not embarrassed to...
Basically, yeah. Because, like... It would be a pretty big uphill battle, but it evens out the playing field a little bit with the no damage from VMAX with Bliss's ability.
Yeah, so it's what gives the archetype a little bit of legs. I don't know if I expect it to do well, but it's something you might be able to just play online and have a little fun with. So
yeah, and it would be like a really cheap introductory deck as well, probably, because they're all commons except for Blissy. All right, so next up, Gallerian Cursola. Psychic, HP 100. For 1 Psychic, it has Force Restoration. Put a basic Pokemon V from your opponent's discard pile onto their bench. Then put damage counters on that Pokemon until its remaining HP is 30.
So it gets to be in range of 2 Inteleon. Got
yes, exactly. And then, Galarian Zigzagoon.
Also true. An Inteleon and a Zigzagoon.
And then for a Psychic and 2 colorless, you have Spooky Shot, 80 damage, weakness to darkness, resistance to fighting, retreat cost of 2.
I think it's cute. I don't know how you're getting the V Pokemon into the discard to begin with, but if you ever get it there, life is pretty easy to just shoot it down. So
yeah. Cursola is not putting the Pokemon V in their discard pile. He does not have a way to do that.
Yeah, you got to find a way to get it down there first, and then Cursola can start going to town with its like Inteleon and Zigzagoon buddies.
But that is absolutely like destructive. That's fantastic. You get one Pokemon V in there, and you can just keep pulling it out.
It's a cute little power. I like it. It's cute. Next up, we got a Granbull. It's got 120 HP as a Psychic Pokemon. It's a Stage 1 that evolves from a Snubbull. It has an ability, this is why we care about it, Dig Up. When you play this Pokemon to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you can put up to 2 Pokemon tool cards from your discard pile into your hand. It has an attack. We don't care about it. It's triple colorless for Bite with 90 damage. Who cares? Weak to Metal, retreat of 2. I think this matters because there's a Whimsicott that cares about discarding tool cards. So this is a cool little thing in that deck.
Plus, I mean, free tool cards every turn.
Yeah. Well, no, it's only the turn you evolve it, so...
Yeah. But we've got like Scoop Up Net and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can net. But like I said, there's a Whimsicott that cares about tool cards, I believe. And it does a lot of damage based on discarding tool cards. So I think that's where this will end up if it ends up anywhere. I remember it being a good deck when it first came out, but I think it's fallen off since then.
All right. Next up, we've got Meluetta. I have always had a hard time pronouncing this Pokemon's name. I'm going to go with that.
I think that's good.
Close enough. Psychic type, HP 90. Basic fusion Pokemon. For Psychic and a colorless, it has Melodious Echo. 70 times damage. This attack does 70 damage times the number of fusion energy attached to your Pokemon. This is also something that you can do. Fusion energy, you can have 4 of in your deck. So you're looking at 380 damage, potentially, which is fantastic. Yeah, I mean, it's just another possible tool with a pretty good attack.
Yeah, it's another fun fusion striker. Next up, we've got Bolton V. It's not as exciting as the Bolton V we already have, but eventually that one will rotate out, so this one will become the new main one. We have 2 attack. Its HP is 200. It's basic. Who cares? It's lightning type. Its main attack, its first attack is 1 lightning, 30 damage, and you may switch it with one of your benched Pokemon, as you do. Second attack, lightning colorless, 120 damage. This attack does 30 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Don't apply weakness and resistance. Weak to fighting, retreat of 1. The Bolton V we already have just searches electric energy and puts them onto your benched Pokemon, which is why it's like the slightly better one right now. But, either of them can evolve into the VMAX that you have. So,
all right. So, Bolton VMAX. Lightning, HP 320. For Lightning and a colorless, you have Lightning Storm, 30 plus damage. This attack does 30 more damage for each lightning energy attached to all of your Pokemon. Fantastic.
It is 20 more damage than like the original Bolton V's attack that does the same thing. Which is still a good attack. So, like, it's not bad.
They're like, let's just make this a little better.
Yeah.
And then we've got Lightning, and Colorless. Max Bolt, 240 damage. This Pokemon can't use Max Bolt during your next turn. Weakness to fighting, resistance none, retreat cost of 2.
It hits hard. And the fact that the old basic V just puts out lightning energy onto the field everywhere, like, it can hit hard with both attacks. And power itself up. So, it's got potential.
Yeah.
It's a good doggo.
Is there any other way in Lightning to move lightning energies around? Because it kind of seems like, 240 is nothing to scoff at, but you can't use it, and there's a retreat cost of, you can't use it next turn, and there's a retreat cost of 2.
So the first attack is lightning energy on all Pokemon that you have?
Right.
Not just it.
Correct. But what I was getting at was that the old Bolton V really helps out with that attack. I don't know how great this VMAX is going to be after that Bolton V disappears.
That's where I'm curious about, too. Like, do you run it with Flappy, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe.
Like, that's an option. I don't know if it's a good option, but, like, we still got a year with the Bolton V. Like, we'll be okay.
It'll be the year for the Bolton. So if this is your favorite Pokemon, get that deck.
I feel bad for people who like Bolton. I like its baby form. Like,
Yamper?
Yamper's kind of cute. Bolton's just a little doofy for me. Like, it feels a little off, and I don't know why.
He just looks like a good boy. That's about it. Like, not intimidating, not like
he's just a doggy.
Cool. He's just like, hey, friend.
There's nothing special about him. I feel bad. It's just a lightning dog. We have a couple of those, depending on how you count Jolteon. Poor thing. Next up, we have Chandelier V. It's a fire-type Pokemon with 200 HP, basic Pokemon. First attack, Confuse Ray. 1 fire energy, your opponent's Pokemon is now confused.
Fantastic.
Fire and a colorless, we have Poltergeist, which you may remember if you remember Gengar Mimikyu, because it's basically the same attack. 40x damage, your opponent reveals their hand, and it does 40 times the number of trainer cards you find in there. Worth 2 prizes, weak to water, retreat is 2. Like, it's a little scary, but it evolves too, so. And it's a fire Pokemon that doesn't have an oppressively restrictive attack cost, so that's important. It only takes 2 energy. We can get there. There's a Cinderace in this set that costs 4 energy to attack. You're not getting there. We're not talking about that card. We don't have Welder anymore. We can't do that.
So next up is Chandler VMAX. Fire type, HP 320. Ability, Cursed Shimmering. As long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, your opponent can't play any Pokemon tools from their hand. You guys see where this is going? Alright.
Yeah.
For Fire and Colorless, Max Poltergeist. 70 times damage. Your opponent reveals their hand. This attack does 70 damage times the number of trainer cards you find there. See? See, guys?
I don't feel bad about those balloons stuck in those hands.
Oh, I know, right?
Or those capes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're playing Zacian with capes? How does it feel? Nom, nom, nom.
Fantastic. But, yeah, so, like, the ability already is great. Like, people would probably play a card like this for the ability alone.
Yeah.
But then the fact that it leads into its attack, it's fantastic.
And that attack is good. Like, it's just sad that there's no real way to manipulate their hand, like, into random cards right now.
Yeah.
Like, we lost the stamp. Marnie only puts 4 cards in their hand, so, like, that's not as exciting.
Yeah. There are cards. I can't. Maybe you remember the name of it, but there are trainer cards that you can have that will reveal the hand.
Yeah. There's usually a couple of those around.
So you could do that before deciding to attack, so you'd have like a good idea. But it's not always going to work out either.
People have a lot of cards in their hands recently, so it's not a big deal. I feel like usually if you're hitting for 140, you're not upset.
Yes.
I like the card. Next up, we've got Grimmsnarl. It's a stage 2 single striker, 170 HP. First attack, bite for 1 darkness energy for 60 damage. Who cares? Second attack's what we're here for. Dark, 100 plus damage. If you have 2 or less benched Pokemon, it does 140 more damage. It's like they made Fight Alone actually work. If you remember that mechanic that they kept trying to bring back on like Lucario, it's like, oh yeah, we do more damage based on the more Pokemon that they have than you have. It's like, no, this just does a lot of damage and you're allowed to have 2 Pokemon on your bench.
Yeah, and you can control it better.
Yeah, you have more control over it, and it does a lot of damage for a little bit of energy.
Yes, it does.
Like, you don't have to worry about just having 1 Pokemon out there. No, you can have a couple. And my goodness, 240 damage for 2 energy. Ooh, that hits nice. Also, it's a single strike Pokemon, but you can't really run the standard Houndoom package when you can only have 2 Pokemon on your bench. So I don't know how much that means.
Yeah.
I guess you can run single strike energy, and you can run it with the stadium that lets you discard single strike cards to draw 2 cards. So, like that, I guess that's not nothing. But anyway, weakness to grass, retreat of 3. It's cute. It's cute.
All right. Next up, we've got Greedentv. It's a colorless, HP 210 basic Pokemon. For 2 colorless, we have Body Slam. 40 damage, flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. Then for 3 colorless, you have Nom 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 Incisors.
I love that translation. How dumb.
120 damage and draw 3 cards. Weakness to fighting, resistance none, retreat cost of 2.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we have the VMAX form. Ooh, scary boy. 320 HP colorless Pokemon. Evolves from your Greedentv. For 2 colorless, we have Turniprofit, 30 damage. If your opponent's basic Pokemon is knocked out by the damage of this attack, you get to take 2 more prizes. Ow. And considering they have like Inteleon to set that up, not unreasonable that you can actually make that work.
Yeah.
Additional colorless energy, we can do 160 damage and draw 3 cards with Max Gimme Gimme. The translations are beautiful for this thing. They went all out. Weak to fighting, retreat of 3, but ooh boy, he hit hard. Also, I saw him in a deck already. Like, there's a deck list out there for him, so he's doing okay. And as you'd expect, he's hanging out with Inteleon. And a Suicune. There's a Suicune in that deck. Who would have guessed? Just draw all the cards. Why not?
Fantastic. Next up, we're going to move on to trainers. So we've got, so first off, Judge returns. For those of you unfamiliar, both players shuffle their hand into their deck and then draw 4 cards.
It's like Bad Marnie.
Yes.
I don't expect it to see play while Marnie's still around. Unless you're like a Noivern V deck. I believe that cares about having the same number of cards in hand than your opponent. So I guess it's slightly better for that deck, but usually with a Marnie you can find something to play and get down to 4 cards.
Yeah. And then on to new ones. We have Power Tablet. It's a Fusion Strike item. During this turn, your Fusion Strike Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon before applying weakness and resistance.
You know what? We lived through Electro Charger. Like, we know that's a good card.
Yeah, it's a great card. It's an item, so you can stack these. It's really, really cool. I mean, obviously this isn't going to be something that happens all the time, but being able to add 120 damage to an attack, that's absurd.
Yeah, we lived through Electro Charger era, or whatever it was called. Those were good items. So this probably a good item. Like, doing a little bit of extra damage for free. Life is good. Next up, we got Cross Switcher, also reminiscent of an old item. It's also Fusion Strike. You must have 2 Cross Switchers in order to play this card. switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon. If you do, switch your active Pokemon with your bench Pokemon. So, if you have 2 of these, it's a Guzma, which is nice. That said, the ones that we had a couple years ago also had effects if you only played one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think the Pokemon catcher was like, oh yeah, or you could just play this to draw up to 3 cards in your hand. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think the greedy dice had a secondary effect too. It wasn't good, but it was.
Yeah, like that. I think that's the downfall to it, is it doesn't have an effect when you only have one of them. So it's like, and I don't know how good the search support for fusion items are. So, because it's not like Octillery exists in Fusion Strike, I don't think. So, or in the Fusion Strike format, essentially, for Fusion Strikes. So you can't search up a fusion item and be like, hey, look, I got my 2 cross switchers. So I think that's the downfall. It's how searchable is it?
Yeah. And I don't know the ruling. So you're saying you don't think that the ruling would be that you could search it because it's an item card. If it says you can search for an item card.
Well, no, if you could search for a Fusion Strike card.
Gotcha. Okay.
Or if you could search for an item card. You need one of those to make it work. So, and I don't know if those exist for Fusion Strikes. And right now, item searches are like, you could get it with your like Drizzile, but you're not playing Drizzile in Fusion Strike decks because you want as many Fusion Strikes as you can with your Genesects, right?
Yeah.
So it's like your bench is probably going to be another Mew, a Latios, and like 2 Genesects or something. So like you don't really have the space to have a Drizzile to be finding these for you. So that's where my question comes in, is whether it gets played or not.
Yeah. I do think that just the fact that it's an item card, and yes, you need 2, but it's an item card that allows you to switch bench Pokemon.
Yeah, like it has potential. It has.
Anytime you can do something without having to use a supporter is helpful.
Mm-hmm. Like I could see it getting more play in Expanded, and not so much even in Fusion Strike decks, but in decks where they like manipulate the top card of their deck and then draw it.
Oh yeah.
Because they have like Oranguru plus Magcargo,
Mm-hmm.
But then again, in those kinds of formats, I think you just play the other one I was talking about, where it's just the Pokemon catcher if you have 2, but if you have 1, you can just draw up to 3 cards. I think that's just better than having a Guzma, but maybe it'll see play there.
All right. Next, we have the Fusion Energy, the special energy for this set. This card may only be attached to a Fusion Strike Pokemon. If it's attached to anything else other than Fusion Strike Pokemon, discard it. So what it does is, as long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides every type of energy, but provides only 1 energy at a time. Prevent all effects of your opponent's Pokemon's abilities done to this Pokemon. Done to the Pokemon this card is attached to.
Cool. Seems good. Especially with the support.
Yeah, a rainbow energy that prevents the effects of Pokemon's abilities. Like, that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. It's like, oh no, you're not Umbreoning me up. I'm sorry. No.
Exactly.
We're not here for that. Yeah, like I was saying, next up we have some support for Fusion Strike Energy, I believe.
Yes.
Which is Alessa Sparkle, which is a Fusion Strike trainer card. Choose up to 2 of your Fusion Strike Pokemon. For each of those Pokemon, search your deck for a Fusion Strike Energy card and put them onto that Pokemon. So, acceleration from the deck. I like it. That said, I don't know if you can play 4 of it, because you only have 4 Fusion Strike Energy, and it's a little awkward.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you could throw 4 in there for consistency's sake, but...
Yeah, because you want to see them, but then the last 2 are dead, because it doesn't have like the same support that I think it's Single Strike has, where you can shuffle the energy back into your deck.
Right, yeah.
So it's a little awkward to get to the 3rd and 4th ones, but like the first one's always good. Second one's probably good, though maybe you drew a Fusion Strike Energy, maybe one's prized. The 3rd one's usually just going to be trash. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be discarded to a Professor's Research or an Ultra Ball when we get it, or a Quick Ball. So yeah, I could see playing 4 just to get the early attachments.
All right. Next up, we've got Skater's Park. This is a stadium card. Whenever either player's active Pokemon retreats, put any basic energy that would be discarded into their hand instead of the discard pile.
Cute.
Yeah, I like that a lot. It allows you to play with a smaller amount of energy than maybe you would normally, which could then open up your deck for some more pieces to kind of, puzzle together how you want this to work. So I like it, and
it's cute. It's a cute ability.
Yeah, and it's not going to affect your opponent if they're using special energy, so that's cool as well. I can't think of something specifically that I'm like, this card needs to go in there, but it seems like there could be some cute options.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like right now, I don't think you'd ever play it in a Rapid Strike deck because you just have the tower that gives all your Rapid Strike free retreat anyway. Because all Rapid Strikes have 2 retreats, so it's like, oh, okay, bye. Other decks like Leafeon never want this because they just play the Galar Mines to raise retreat costs, but I'm sure it's a cool card to have around in case somebody actually does want it, though. I think it's oh no, it's only basic energy. I was going to say it's probably good in decks where you have just only special energy and you care about those, but only basic energy work with it, so that doesn't quite work.
Yeah. Otherwise, that would be like this would be like quite potentially like the best card in the set. Here comes the best stadium of all time.
Attach a double colorless, retreat with the double colorless, and get it back in your hand. It's a little too good. I'm glad it didn't work that way. Last item, Battle VIP Pass, trainer item. You can only use it during your first turn. Search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon and put them on your bench. Then shuffle your deck. It's interesting.
I don't know why I put this here. Now that I'm thinking about it. I skimmed it and now
it's an interesting effect, but it's a scary effect because after the first turn, it's just not doing anything. And you want to play 4 of it so you can get it on your first turn.
Yeah, it seems like it could be like a really nice way to, like if you're running a V deck that's not doing like VMAX or anything like that. Like this is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're wasting a lot of time or a lot of space.
You're wasting deck space. That's the concern. Yeah. It's like because you want 4 of them to get them consistently on turn 1, and then, like I was talking with Alessa, except to a more extreme extent, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th one of these. Well, actually, I guess you could play more than 1 on a turn, but still, the odds of you getting more than 1 on a turn, it's a little awkward.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's interesting.
Oh, right. So, yeah, it's like a weird, worse item version of Talonflame.
I could see it in expanded, maybe, where, like, setting up on turn 1 is important because you're probably winning on turn 2 or 3.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to see how people play this, honestly.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not expecting to see it much, but, like, I could see it in expanded where that first turn or 2 is so much more important just because the plays are so much stronger. So, we'll see. I don't have high expectations, but I also wouldn't be surprised to see it around.
All right, so that is it for our Pokemon and our items. We've completed the set for you guys. Now we're going to move it on to the Venusaur Best.
Before you marches a Titan. Do not be ashamed of the fear inside you. Embrace it as you witness the Venusaur Best.
Look, you guys, it's a Venusaur.
All right, and we are back with the Venusaur Best, and R.Sigma is going to take it from the top.
All right, so I saw this deck and I thought it was adorable. We got a more Pico in this new set. It's a dark Pokemon with 50 HP, single strike. For 1 dark energy, we do 30 times damage, and that damage multiplier is the amount of damage counters on this Pokemon. Meaning, when you look at it, it doesn't look like much. Because that means we can only have 40 damage counters on this Pokemon before it's dead. Which means we max out damage at 120. And that seems bad. Well, actually, it's a little higher because you have single strike energy to do that. So that's like another 40 damage. So that maxes out damage at 160. However, way back at the beginning of the single strike era, we got an Abomasnow that has the ability that all of your single strike Pokemon in play except this Abomasnow have plus 50 HP.
Oh my gosh. You're right. I totally forgot about this.
Which means it gets to have 90 HP. Which means it's a lot more viable to Houndoom the energy onto, increasing the damage on this Pokemon. We have Capes of Toughness also to boost the
Oh my god.
HP on this Pokemon. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. We also have Stonejourner in case you want, like, coverage, but that's not what we're here for. We're here for more Pico doing lots of damage.
I want all the art of more Pico with the toughness cape. It's just, oh my gosh.
Toughness cape and the Obama Snow aura. Gosh.
Yeah, he's leaping over the Obama Snow with his little toughness cape.
Oh, it's so adorable. He can have so much HP.
And his facial expression is just the most explosive form of discontent.
God. You can have 150 HP. If they don't kill it, they're gonna die.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Oh, I love it.
All right. So next up we have Wulu. He's a colorless Pokemon, HP 60, basic. So we just quickly mentioned him before as being part of the Let's All Roll Out.
Everybody, I like the Japanese translation better than Everybody Roll Out.
Yeah.
It sounds like Star Fox.
Yeah, the Japanese translation is pretty cool. But yeah, so he's here because he wants to join the party. He wants to roll out with everybody. He wants to be a part of this. But because he's colorless and he doesn't have an awesome ability like Blissy, then we're just not going to put him in the deck. Like, he could be there, but he has really no reason to be in there. Because it's not like, you know, we're getting the amount of damage from the discard pile. It's they have to be on the bench. And why would you put a colorless Wulu on the bench when you're already going to have your Blissy on there that has no chance of doing any super effective damage, when what you really want to do is have as many types as possible? So poor little Wulu has to stay on the top of the hill while everybody else gets to roll down.
Poor thing.
All right.
Not everybody rolls out.
Not everybody rolls out. All right. So that's going to be the end. That's going to be the end of our show. Sigma, thank you so much for coming on with me today.
It's been a good time. Oh man, all of them have double colorless rollout attack. Oh,
Yep. Every single one of them.
Poor
He doesn't even
Wulu.
have that as an advantage. The only one that doesn't is the one you're not going to use it with, the Blissy.
yeah. It's just bench support. Oh, poor Wulu.
Poor little Wulu.
I thought that was going to be special. It's like, oh, I bet the other ones have colored energy, and that's why they're not allowed.
Nope.
Or that's why you want to run the Wulu. No,
Nope.
they're all colorless. Oh.
All right. And thank you, PUCL peeps, for continuing to come in and join us every single month for the TCG cast. See you on the flip-flop.
See ya.
It's closing time in Lavender Town. Time to say our goodbye.